dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. Play in the Boxing Day Test matches that happened. So, as usual, I'm going to start off with New Zealand versus Pakistan, but just giving you a synopsis as what's in store and what happened. Just a synopsis is that Pakistan definitely were reeling at 80 for 6 at one stage, but Faheem Ashraf, unfortunately missing his maiden test run, played superbly. He made 91, and he also joined in a very good partnership with his captain, Mohammad Rizwan, who made 79, and both actually got Pakistan not only out of jail, but they also avoided the follow-on as Pakistan were bowled out for 239, and today New Zealand would be resuming their first innings. As far as the other match was concerned, India definitely, after the debacle that happened in the first test match where they were humiliated in a severe manner, now definitely looking like they are going to have a victory. They are going to level the series, probably going to avenge that debacle that happened in the first test, and they are in a very serene position right now. With the Australians already lost 6 wickets for 131, just 2 runs in the lead, and only the tailenders there remaining to bat. I think India would definitely fancy their chances. They don't want to give much more runs to Australia, I reckon, so that they could finish it off, because the fourth and fifth days are going to be very dicey, because the pitch is going to really have severe cracks in it. And as far as the other match is concerned, where the South Africa versus Sri Lanka is concerned, Sri Lanka is having a lot of injury problems. In fact, they wanted Mickey Arthur, the coach, to actually say that he would like to speak to ICC to know what is the arrangement, if it already happened. But also, very sadly, Faf du Plessis missing his maiden test double century, as was bowled out for 199. A very sad thing, definitely, for any batsman there, out for 199. In fact, the South Africans amassed a score of 66 and were all out, and the Sri Lankans were 65 for 2. Still a long way to go as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. A 225 runs lead for the South Africans, and definitely this match definitely looks like a result is coming. It looks like there are going to be results in the Boxing Day Test matches. Pakistan and New Zealand, one has to wait and watch. But as far as India, Australia, and Sri Lanka and South Africa are concerned, I'm sure there's definitely going to be a result. So let's now look at the the day's proceedings as far as the third day was concerned in the Boxing Day Test matches. The first, as you normally know, I first go to the Pakistan-New Zealand match, because, as I always say, it's just a matter of 1.5 hours before play resumes on the fourth day at Mount Ganui between Pakistan and New Zealand. So Pakistan were definitely struggling. Abid Ali could not continue his good work that he did in the previous day, with Jamieson really testing him and then finally snucking the ball between the bat and pad gap, and he was bowled for 25. Mohammad Abbas was a victim. The night watchman was victim for 5, and then Azhar Ali was left hanging his bat outside the off stump of the bowling of Saudi for 5. Haris Sohail also fell a victim to Saudi, and Neil Wagner. One has to really admire the bravery of this person. With a fractured toe, he has bowled how many overs? Let's see how many overs he bowled. He bowled 21 overs, 550 runs, and he picked up 2 wickets. And he, in fact, was the one who dismissed the comeback man. Fawad Alam, Pakistan is known as the comeback man, because every time he's in and out of the side, and he always makes a comeback to the Pakistan side. But he was a failure. He was scratching around, made only 9 runs, and he was caught wattling bowled Wagner. And then 6 wickets down, as I said, the Pakistani innings was really in a very ragged state at the stage. 80 for 6 at one stage, with the Mohammad Rizwan, the captain. As soon as he came, he showed that positivity is the best type of defense that he could do, and that's what he precisely did. Started playing his strokes there, Mohammad Rizwan, and he was joined in by a very able partner, the all-rounder Faheem Ashraf. Faheem Ashraf is an all-rounder. But Faheem Ashraf definitely, one has to say, played superbly. Mohammad Rizwan and Faheem Ashraf, what they did best was any short balls that were served to them were dispatched with disdain to the fence. So Mohammad Rizwan and Faheem Ashraf put on a very good partnership. It was very vital at 84-6. They needed someone to stay there and carry the innings along, as they had a Herculean task in front of them. But Mohammad Rizwan and Faheem Ashraf reduced it by putting on 107 runs for the 7th wicket. And unless till such time, a brilliant throw from Santner. I mean, Mohammad Rizwan had just played the ball to the mid-wicket region, called for a single. He was running towards the non-strikers, and Mitchell Santner sprinted from deep square leg and came in and picked up the ball at mid-wicket. And in one swoop action, he flung the ball, and the ball went and hit the target, and that was the stumps. With the non-striker, Mohammad Rizwan was running towards the non-strikers and caught short of the crease. And what a brilliant piece of fielding. It really took something like that to dismiss Mohammad Rizwan. And Mohammad Rizwan was walking, run out by Santner for 71 with 8 boundaries. But definitely he had given some hope to Pakistan with Faheem Ashraf in the middle. And then Faheem Ashraf still had a job to do even after Mohammad Rizwan was gone. In the company of the tail-enders, he tried his best. He started playing his strokes, as I said, his pull shot and his drives that he was doing towards the cover region. After that, it was pretty quick work, one could say, because it was quickly wrapped up by the Kiwis. But Faheem Ashraf himself, after making 91 with 15 fours and 1 6, departed caught by Watling of the bowling of Jamieson for 91. And Faheem Ashraf was applauded by all the New Zealand fielders on the ground, which was good to see. It was good sportsman spirit, one could call it. And they definitely, definitely applauded an innings from Faheem Ashraf. He was there till the end, and he also made sure that Pakistan won't be following on, as Pakistan were bowled out for 239. Yasir Shah was out for 4, Shaheen Afridi for 6 to Wagner, and 239 all out. Thus, it was a big lead that they conceded. It was 192 runs lead that Pakistan conceded to New Zealand. If you look at the bowling card there, Saudi 2 for 69, 2 for 71 for Trent Boult. Kyle Jamieson was very impressive, 3 for 35, 23.2 overs and 13 maidens. That is splendid bowling figures from Kyle Jamieson. Bowled full-length deliveries. Neil Wagner, as I said, bowling with a fractured toe, 2 for 50. Mitchell Santner, 6 overs, 2 maidens, none for 7. So that's the match situation going into the 4th day at Mount Ganawee in New Zealand on the 4th day of the Boxing Day Test match, going into the 4th day. Now let's have a look at the India versus Australia game, which, as I said, India definitely looking like avenging the debacle that happened. And let's have a look at what happened. So the Indians actually resumed their innings on the 3rd day, and Ajinkya Rahane and Jadeja were at the crease, but definitely the going was tough. The Aussie bowlers definitely had a sort of a game plan there, and Ajinkya Rahane very, very sadly was run out. One would remember he sold Kohli down the river in the first test match, but here it was something that Rahane himself would be guilty about. I mean, every time he was at the receiving end, basically Jadeja tapped the ball to short cover and took off for a run, which was not really there. But Rahane was quick to respond. But even though he went full tilt and full stretch at the crease, it was all over, as the throw was a tremendous one. Labuschagne had absolutely swooped onto it, and he had got the stumps out in a flash. It was all over. Ajinkya Rahane was run out for 112 boundaries. As far as Jadeja was concerned, Jadeja was still continuing. And Ravindra Jadeja's contribution was 57 with 3 boundaries. He definitely, as I said, it was a mature knock from Ravindra Jadeja. But then Stark was definitely, his son was serving like a sort of a bouncer barrage at the Indian batsman. And that was another bouncer. Jadeja tried to go for the pull shot, and the ball went into the air, deep mid-wicket boundary, and it was Cummins who took a good tumbling catch there. So that was the end of Jadeja. After that, it was pretty quick work by the Aussies, especially, as I said, Mitchell Stark was real bouncers. He was bowling a lot of bounces, as I said. There was a short balls barrage that was served for the Indian batsmen, especially even the tailenders. He did not even spare the tailenders, with Umesh Yadav being hit as well on the rib cage. Ravichandran Ashwin, everyone got hit. Ashwin, after that, as I said, was quick work once Jadeja was gone. Ashwin fell for 14 to Hazelwood. Umesh Yadav was a victim of the bowling of Lyon for 9. Bumrah not, Siraj was not out on not, and the Indians were all out for 326, taking a lead of 131 runs. So definitely India would have, as I said, if India would have got 175 to 200, that would have been great, but that didn't happen. But that really didn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you look at the Australian card, Australia won 33 for 6 with just 2 runs ahead. That really tells the story. But if India had made 175, India would have probably even fancied something like an innings defeat for the Aussies. But let's have a look at the bowling card. This is that Mitchell Starc definitely was all fire and brimstone with bowling at good pace and also bowling those bouncers, which was really lethal bouncers that and he was bowling 2 or 3 bouncers in a single over. Mitchell Starc, 26 overs, 5 innings, 78 runs and 3 wickets to Mitchell Starc. Pat Cummins, 27 overs, 9 innings, 80 runs and 2 wickets. Hazelwood, 23 overs, 6 innings, 47 runs and 1 wicket. But Nathan Lyon, someone would be a threat when India bat on the final day. But one does not know whether this match is going to go into the final day. India will be hoping that they could wrap up things quickly and then probably chase a sort of a very, very meager target and complete the formalities. Nathan Lyon, 27.1 overs, 4 innings, 72 runs and 3 wickets. Cameron Green, 12 overs, 1 minute, none for 31. Now let's have a look at the Australian card. Now for Australia, Joe Burns was under immense pressure. He was beaten by Bumrah. Bumrah and Yadav in their opening spell were all over the Aussie openers. Matthew Wade, everyone has to be cautious. The Matthew Wade and Jones had definitely adopted a conservative approach. And Joe Burns, once again, was a failure. But what a delivery from Umesh Yadav, an absolute Jaffa he delivered. The ball pitched and just moved and a bat of Joe Burns and went on to it did not knock the off stump. It actually took an edge of the bat, kissed the edge of the bat and punt behind the sticks, took the catch. So Joe Burns was gone, caught punt, bowled Yadav for 4. That was wicket number 1 with the score on 4 for 1. Matthew Wade was joined in by Manas Labuschagne, and both actually definitely did a good job. They took the Aussies to the safety at lunch, but again, it was not good going. It was a very, very sort of the going was very tough. It was like a snail's pace approach that they were having. India definitely had problems. Umesh Yadav had to go back, which was a serious blow for India. But nevertheless, one is hoping that he will be fully fit today. Matthew Wade and Manas Labuschagne got into a partnership. They added 36 runs to the good. But then the first victim was Manas Labuschagne. Ashwin, as you know, is such a classy bowler. And this was Labuschagne who tried to defend Ashwin on the back foot. But the ball spun the other way. And an outside edge, and Rahane was quick to snap it up. Manas Labuschagne gone for 28 with 1 boundary, 42 for 2 at that stage. And after that, Stephen Smith definitely not having a good time at all. This time, it was Jasprit Bumrah. And this was something that we all know. Smith is someone who always shuffles on to the off stump. And this is the precise thing that he did. He was shuffling towards the off stump to actually flick Bumrah because the ball was on the middle and leg stump. And he wanted to turn it round, flick the ball. But he could hardly believe his eyes as the ball went and hit the leg stump. Bail was dislodged. He could not even believe it. He was so far across that Bumrah had clean bowled him, and his lean run in the series continued. 71 for 3. Smith departs, and then Travis Head once again started. Definitely didn't look the usual self, but he was really tested. And once again, it was Mohammad Siraj who took his wicket. The ball, anything which is coming across Travis Head, Travis Head seems to be falling a prey to that, and that's what precisely happened. There was a hint of movement from Mohammad Siraj, and he went out nicking to second slip. Mayank Agrawal taking the catch. As far as Matthew Wade was concerned, Matthew Wade was continuing. He was someone who definitely had curbed his natural instinct. and he was trying to occupy the crease. He was acting as a sort of an anchor man for the Aussies, but that was short-lived when Jadeja actually trapped him LBW. When Wade tried to move across and trying to flick Jadeja down the leg side, he was adjudged LBW. And then a bit of controversy when the Australian captain Tim Paine, it was a big wicket for India, as he was given caught behind. He could not believe it, and as Tim Paine was walking back to the pavilion, was absolutely fuming, as that was a ball from Jadeja, which turned and bounced. I mean, it was basically it had gone for the review, and I mean, if you look at it, there was nothing on the hot spot, but the snicker was showing a spike, and Paine had to walk off at 99 for 6. And then it was a very, very tough ordeal for the Aussie batsmen. Cameron Green and Pat Cummins they took the Australian total past the lead of 131, and they survived the third day. When stumps were drawn for the day, the Aussies scored 130 for 6. Cummins was not out on 15 with 1 boundary. Cameron Green was not out on 17 with 2 boundaries. And as I said, they were just. And India definitely scenting victory here in the second test match. And also there was a bit of banter going on between Matthew Wade and Rishabh Pant, the wicketkeeper. There was a lot of chirping going on behind the sticks, and Matthew Wade was also equal to the task. And that was a bit of a fun over there, a bit of banter. As far as the bowling was concerned, Bumrah had 1 for 34. Umesh Yadav, very unfortunately, going back because of the injury, 1 for 5. Hopefully he should be fit and raring to go today for India. Siraj once again impressed. He has impressed everyone. The commentators were definitely in high praise of Mohammad Siraj. As you know, 1 for 23. He's done a great job. Ashwin had 1 for 46. Jadeja doing a splendid job there, 2 for 25. So definitely the Aussies are definitely staring at defeat right now. And there's not much batting to come. Cameron Green would be their hope now. And they would be hoping that the tailenders could give company to Cam Green. So let's talk about the other match. The other match that we are talking about, South Africa versus Sri Lanka. On the third day, if you look at the match situation there, the South Africans amassed 621. They were all out for 621. Very sadly, Faf du Plessis, who was going to get his maiden Test double century, was a victim as he attempted a rash shot, one could say, under the circumstances, when he was batting on 199 with 24 boundaries. He tried to loft the Hasranga de Silva, the leggy, and fell a victim as Karunaratne at the fence took the catch. And what a shame that du Plessis could not complete his maiden Test double century. After that, and then Themba Bauma's contribution being 71 with 7 boundaries. Mulder made 36 with 4 fours and 1 6. Keshav Maharaj getting a career test best score of 73 with 6 fours and 2 sixes. Was very good to see. And after that, the tailenders, Notje was knocked out for not, Supamla for not, Gidi was not out on 2. 621 was the final tally. And definitely one felt very sorry for the Sri Lankans as they lost every bowler. I mean, Vishwa Fernando could not bowl. Dasun Shanaka was not there. I mean, as in Kasun Rajita was not there. Vanindu Hasaranga. And they were really crippled. Even Lairu Kumara. So it was a very sad scene for one. Felt very sorry for the Sri Lankans. As I said, Mickey Arthur has now probably he said that he would be planning to talk to the ICC about why not have concussion substitutes for even the bowlers. We already have it for the batsmen, as we all know. Why don't we have it for the bowlers? I think that's a fair deal, because the Sri Lankans were absolutely crippled here with the bowling attack comprising of just Dasun Shanaka and Vishwa Fernando, I reckon. Not having Kasun Rajita was bowling so superbly the other day. Vanindu Hasaranga, one of their key bowlers, and Lairu Kumara, the fastest of the lot. I mean, that really says, and in fact, Karunaratne and Kushal Mendis had to fill in the void there. So definitely, I think there is a lot of substance in what Mickey Arthur is saying. Anyway, 621 all out, that gave them a lead of 325 runs, a mammoth 325 runs lead. It was, I'm sorry, it's 220 runs lead. I'm sorry, guys, due to some excitement here. Fernando had 3 for 129, 2 for 98 for Shanaka, Wanindu Hasaranga was the one who took the maximum number of wickets, 4 for 171. Lailu Kumara, 1 wicket. As far as Sri Lanka were concerned, at close of play, they were 65 for 2. They were trailing by 160 runs. The match definitely looks like heading into a result with 2 days to go. Karnane once again was clean bowled by Lungi Giri, an absolute gem of a delivery from Lungi Giri. It was something with pitch just outside the off stump, and also one can say due to the vagaries of the pitch, the ball also kept low. So one can't really say, we can't blame Karunaratne, but he was clean bowled by Giri. Kushal Pereira was there, but Kushal Mendes once again hanging his bat outside a ball that he could have definitely left alone. Hung his bat in a very limp fashion as Vander Dussen in the slips took the catch, bowled by Giri. So he was gone, and then finally, as I said, at stumps, it was only because of Kushal Pereira, who definitely played very responsibly. He was not out on 33, but he was scoring quick. 33 with 6 boundaries included in that. With Dinesh Chandimal, the experienced one, not out 21, 3 boundaries. 65 for 2 was the final tally at the end of the day, and they were there to fight another day now, which is coming on the 4th day. 2 for 28, Lungi Giri, the only wicket taker, none for 23 for Norje, and Mulder, none for 10. Now let's have a look at some cricket news. So definitely, barring Pakistan and New Zealand, one has to wait and watch. But other than that, both the matches looks to be heading towards a definite result here in the Boxing Day Test matches. Looking at some cricket news now, very quickly, just a sneak peek, one could say. So as I said, Mickey Arthur has already made the claim that he's keen for ICC to discuss injury substitutes after the Sri Lanka's absentee list has grown. Good news for South Africa. They will be definitely strengthened by the news that Kagiso Rabada, the prime strike bowler, would be back in action as he will be back for the second test match between South Africa and Sri Lanka. The other news that says here is that in the Big Bash League, Imran Tahir has pulled out of the BBL for personal reasons. Jonty Rhodes, the former South African world-class fielder, would be going the T10. As you know, he has taken over the Swedish cricket right now. Jonty Rhodes, he will be taking the T10 route to Abu Dhabi. And as far as the match in the BBL was concerned, the Scorchers versus Strikers. In fact, it was the Adelaide Strikers who won the match by 71 runs as they made 165 for 8, and they bundled out the Perth Scorchers for 94 runs. Rashid Khan playing a good role in that particular thing, and Phil Salt applying salt to the wounds of the Perth Scorchers by playing a scorching knock there. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it was a pleasure bringing you this Cricket Happening show as usual, and looking forward to your company tomorrow, where I will be dwelling on the 4 days play in all the 3 Boxing Day Test matches. Until then, this is your host Ram signing off for today. Thank you.